Alrighty guys, I hope you guys are having a great and wonderful day today. What I have in front of me right now is actually a piece of Moldavite in some purified Cancun sand. Okay, now before I really jump into the effects that I want to discuss in today's video, the only reason I actually did this was to test to see if the energy changed when I put Moldavite in a different type of sand or different sands, and to see what effects I would get from that as well. And so I will probably be making a video about that and testing Moldavite in different sands and in different material to really just see if there's any different effects and what I personally experience with it as well. But let's go ahead and jump right into today's the rest of the effects that I have been reading in this book called The Moldavite Enigma. And so if you watched Friday's video, you will see that I talked about the first three, which were the warm handshake, right? Which was effect number one. Effect number two was goosebumps. And effect number three was the heavy hand. Now, jumping into effect number four is called the deep breath, right? So this effect is not extremely common, but it has been noted. I personally have not encountered or met someone who's actually experienced this, but maybe some of you watching this video have. But it basically it's basically described in the name, the deep breath, right? So people who experience this tend to stop breathing, actually. So they may even like close their eyes and stop breathing and then begin to breathe again with a deep inhale into their solar plexus. Now, like I said before, maybe you guys have met someone who has had the deep breath experience when first handling and working with Moldavite, but usually this also signifies an addition or harmony to the handler's energy or pattern. Okay, so if you guys experience that, I would love to hear about that in the comments below. But like it said, it's not super common. But let's see. So moving on to number 5, it's called the 9-volt battery, right? And so a lot of the names, in these effects really describe what happens. But this one is also not very common, and it takes place immediately during handling, right? So it feels like a slight tingle or even a static shock, when you first hold it. And it can manifest as a much slower charge or a drain, and leave a funny residue taste in your mouth. Okay, so the 9-volt is a mover, right? It moves energy, but in small, manageable amounts. So basically, when you experience this, if it charges you, then the Moldavite is complementary to you. But if it drains you, then the Moldavite is out of sync with the handler. Okay, so that's basically one of the main effects of the 9-volt battery. Okay, now if we move on to effect number 6, which is called the aura buzz, it is also a mover in a large way. And also, guys, once again, this effect is not very common, but it takes energy from your aura or your spiritual space and immediately moves it, right? It shifts it. So people who have, some level of spiritual training and ability, or are preparing to take a large step in their inner development, usually tend to experience this, right? This sometimes initiates a new step sooner than planned when you have the aura buzz effect. Okay, now the last one, which is number 7, profundity, right? This is the deepest and most meaningful effect of Moldavite, right? So this effect, right, profundity, involves a communication or signification that pounds a meaning, right? So like a personal meaning deep into the skull. So usually the individual is very spiritually evolved and highly capable. Okay, the experience with this effect is more than just awareness. It arrives with a deeply personal connection. So an example that the book actually talks about was a visual example of this, which was where basically a guy was observing Moldavite, through certain types of light, and he basically saw his name written backwards in another language within the Moldavite. And so I thought this was very interesting to really become aware because, with my own personal piece as well, I've been noticing more words written in it lately. The longer I stare at it, the longer um, I look at it. Like there's like a shape here forming right in the middle. I don't know if you guys can see it, but to me, it's now starting to become like a word, like a letter, like something that's just evolving. And I do take care of my Moldavite, so it's not crushing or being, damaged in any way. It's just something that I've been noticing since I've been working with it. And the more that I read this book, The Moldavite Enigma, there's actually a really, really amazing practice that you can do to view Moldavite in a certain specific kind of light and in a way observing it and diving deep into it. And it's not like a meditation or anything like that, but there's a certain way that you can look at Moldavite and it will start to transform you more rapidly. It's another secret tool that I've discovered reading this book that you can use to dive in deeper within yourself and make transformations a lot quicker within you. And so I'm pretty sure I'm going to be making a video about that next week, guys. This upcoming Friday, I'm going to be making an update just because I don't know if you guys have been feeling this, but the full moon was on Friday and it just has been really intense, guys. I don't know if you guys have been feeling the energies. So I really want to make, kind of like a video about that real quick, talking about that. And just a quick update as well on other things I've been noticing working with Moldavite. And then on Sunday, I'm going to be sharing with you guys, next Sunday, I'm going to be sharing a video with you guys on what I've been reading in this book about the best place to use Moldavite on certain chakras, which you will probably, many of you have probably not thought about this, but many of you might already have, but it's a chakra that is not even really talked about that much, but I really want to share that with you guys. And why it should be used as well. And so stay tuned for those videos, guys, coming up this week. I send you guys so much love. I have a lot going on this week as well, but I will do my best to answer and respond to everyone's comments and emails. So just stay tuned for that. If you guys don't hear anything, just know that I will be progressively doing that throughout the week or next week. So just letting you guys know. I send you guys so much love. Stay tuned for next week's videos. And I will talk to you guys very, very soon. See ya.